All right, day 2, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna continue to where we left off, okay? What you need in front of you is, once again, this is your second or your third page or whatever of your notes. So you've got to have this, okay? And again, you need to have your lovely periodic table here. And then your sub should also pass out your next worksheet, which looks almost identical, as you can see. But the difference is, if you take a look up here, okay, this one says transition in it. This is your one from yesterday, and you can see that that's absent. Okay, so that's how you're going to tell the difference between those. Okay, so for today, transition means transition metals. Okay, all right, here we go. Transition metals are ionic charges that you cannot predict it from the periodic table. So today, what we're going to deal with, okay, yesterday we skipped our transition metals. Today we're going to deal with them. Okay, it's the exact same thing. We're still looking for our metals first and our charges to be 0. Okay, so here we go. Your naming rule, okay, is to list the name of the transition. List the name of the transition metal first. Again, metal goes first. Okay. Followed by in parentheses, followed by parentheses with the charge. Okay, and that needs to be in Roman numerals. Okay, so I'm not quite done yet. List the name of the transition metal first, followed by the charge in parentheses, and that charge needs to be in Roman numerals. The last part of it is, I'll just do a little star here so you know I'm on a different line. Okay, is you list your non-metal with that lovely IDE ending. Okay, so still the metal first. Okay, so we're listing the transition metal name first, followed by the charge in parentheses. That charge needs to be given in Roman numerals, and then the non-metal, okay, is second with that IDE ending. Okay, so the reason we have to use Roman numerals, okay, and I've got a new clean periodic table here that I put together. Okay, so this chunk here in the middle, okay, we could never say how many valence electrons they have. We could never say how many dots. And that's because depending on the element, okay, and this is the reason, okay, the transition metals will switch their charges. So like yesterday with the periodic table, we said that those were sure because they never happened to do that. That's why we had to skip them, is because they do something wacky. So like, for example, copper. Copper can be a +1 charge, but it can also be a +2. Iron can be a +2, but it can also be a +3. So that's why we have to indicate the charge in Roman numerals in parentheses, because it's not the same all the time. Okay, but as in anything in chemistry, no matter what level of chem you ever go to, there are always exceptions. Okay, so these exceptions to the Roman rules is silver always forms a +1, and zinc always forms a +2. These ones don't switch, so let me grab a different color maybe. We'll just do green. These two, no Roman numerals. Whoa, can't see that. Okay, so what I want you to do, okay, is go to your periodic table, and I'll put mine up here. And I want you to go to these lovely two, okay, and I want you to make a note to yourself, okay. Zinc is always a +2, and silver here is always a +1. Okay, make sure you have those because that'll help you remember exactly what you have to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I think I had all your notes out. We'll go through some other ones. I don't think I printed all your notes off. That's all right. We'll make do. Okay. All right. So doing exactly what we did yesterday. Okay. All right. So again, charges have to equal 0. So this 2 right here, it does not mean how many copper atoms there are. That's the biggest mistake ever. Don't use the Roman numerals as the number. It's the charge. It's the charge, and it is always positive. And it always goes to the element to the left. So copper's going to take a +2, iodine's a -1. Make the charge 0, got a +2, -1, so we're only at a +1, so we got to do one more negative, Cu I 2. Okay. Next one, lead 4 sulfide. Okay, again, the charge is the Roman numerals. The Roman numeral is the charge. It's not the number, it's the charge. Lead is a +4. Sulfur is a -2. Common number is a 2. So 2 times whatever, we're going to get PbS2. Common number was 4. Iron 3 oxide, iron +3, oxygen -2. Fe, that's hard, Fe2O3. Titanium +4, oxygen -2. TiO2. All right, see, look at, here it is. There's the exception. There's no Roman numeral with zinc because it does not need it because it doesn't switch. So zinc is a +2, oxygen is a -2. We're good to go. And lastly, silver +1, sulfur -2, Ag2S. Okay. And so I didn't print out the next portion. And so I don't have those examples actually right in front of me. I don't remember what I wrote down. And so what I'd like you to do, okay, is I want you to go to this homework that you have, okay, and we're going to do some of the problems here because what I want to talk to you about is how to get the names, okay, because that's more of the tricky part for this one, okay? And so I'm just going to do a whole bunch of these actually with you, so you'll actually have most of your homework done. Woohoo! Okay, so we're good with that one because it's already given up to us, and so we're gonna meander over to this one, okay? Formula +3 -1, got to make it 0. FeBr3, and now here we go. The metal is always listed first, so we have iron, but now in parentheses, since iron's a transition metal, okay, iron's +3, so we got iron 3, and we're dealing with bromine, so brome. Okay. Actually, I just thought of one thing that I want to make sure that you realize on your periodic table, okay? So if you would just flip to that really quick, because I forgot I needed to tell you that, okay? When we did the listing of the charges yesterday, we had this big giant chunk over here that we did not classify. Technically, all of your transition metals, as we all know, okay, go ahead and start and end on those big sides, okay? So then what the heck are we doing with these things, okay? Here's what we do, okay? And I'll just go ahead and underline them. Indium, tin, antimony, polonium, bismuth, lead, and thallium, okay? All of those elements, and I've run out of space here, those ones get Roman numerals. So even though they're technically not a transition metal, they actually act like one. And so that's why we're going to include them in our Roman numerals. Okay, enough said there. Let's move on to, what's a good one? What's a good one? Ooh, this one's, right up here, Ni3P2, okay? And so we'll just go ahead, fill out the rest, okay? So I'm dealing with nickel for sure, and I'm dealing with phosphorus, and we all know that phosphorus is A-3. But now I'm left with this dilemma. We have nickel, and I don't know anything like, I do know, but I don't know the Roman numeral, okay? And you really do, okay? You have to take a look at your formula, okay? So off on the side, I'm gonna have, we've got phosphorus, okay? And phosphorus, we know, is A-3, okay? But I have 2 of them, so I'm gonna add another -3. So that means our negative charges make up -6, okay? Then I know that I have nickel, which is unknown, okay? And I have another nickel, and I have another nickel. So I've got 3 of these. All these 3 added together has to make this equal 0. So we know for sure, okay, kind of draw a line to separate it, okay? My total number of nickels has to add up, all those charges have to add up to 6, okay? And so now you just do a little quick algebra. I need a positive 6, and I have 3 of them. What do I need to have? 6 divided by 3, and we're going to get a lovely +2, and there we go, okay? And then now for the information here, I have nickel 2 phosphide. Let's see here. I'm gonna do one more here, and then I'll turn you loose, okay? We got the mercury and we got the chlorine, okay? So I got my mercury here, and I got my chlorine with a -1. I know that for sure. So now I go ahead, take a look at my formula. I have 1 chlorine. 1 chlorine has a -1. So then by simply default, then mercury has to be a +1. Go over to your naming. Mercury. Ooh, can't spell. You guys know. Spell it right. And then, so now we have mercury 1, because we know that's the charge. And we're dealing with chloride. Mercury 1 chloride. And there you go. That's all I got for you. Okay? Yeah. So, again, I'll be back as soon as I possibly can. But there you go. And you can start making compounds. Okay? Have a good night. Bye.